Happy Monday and welcome to today's stretching core. As I was saying, been changing it up the past couple of weeks and today is no different. So instead of going straight into our core, we are actually going to start with 5 minutes of stretching to warm us up, and then that will lead us into our 15 minutes of core work, and then it will lead us back out into our 10 minutes to cool down and stretch it all out again. So we will begin today's stretching standing. So you guys can go ahead, come on up. We are going to bring our legs out nice and wide, outside of our hips, toes pointed forward, and we're just gonna fold it forward, bringing our hands to the ground. Palms nice and flat, legs nice and straight. You should be feeling that pull in the back of your legs, stretching out those hamstrings. And then while we stay bent over, we're just gonna take our hands, bring them behind our back, interlock those fingers and raise them on up to stretch out our shoulders and also fall a little bit deeper into this wide forward fold. Again, making sure you keep those legs nice and straight. Let your head just hang and gravity kind of bring you down a little bit closer to the floor. We are just going to hold it here for one more nice deep breath in. And then we will go ahead and exhale our hands back down to the ground, palms on the floor. We come into a spinal twist. So left hand down, we bring that right hand up into the sky, trying to bring your shoulders stacked on top, but of course, just bringing it however high you can, depending on your mobility, and then looking up at that top hand. We have one more breath here in. And then let's go ahead, exhale, bring that right hand back down, switching sides. We pick the left hand up and we bring it to the sky. Again, whatever your mobility is, if you can get it stacked, that's awesome. If not, no worries. Just try to look up at that top hand wherever it is. We have 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, bring that left hand back down. Now, staying here, we're going to come into a lateral lunge towards the right. So keeping that left leg straight, we're going to bend that right leg, bringing it down into that side lunge. Feel that stretch all throughout that left inner thigh. And again, you can place your hands on the ground. Just getting us nice and loose. We're going to go ahead, exhale, and extend our right arm or right leg back up and switching sides. So bending that left leg now, keeping that right leg nice and straight, feeling that all throughout that right inner thigh. We are just holding it for 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, bring it back center. From here, we're going to slowly roll up for 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to scoot our legs just a little bit closer. They should still be outside of our hips. We're just going to bring it in a little bit closer together. And then once more, let's bend it forward into our forward fold. Legs nice and straight, stretching out those hamstrings. We hold it for 3, 2, 1, and then now we bend both of those legs, bringing it down, nice deep squat. We pick our hands up. You can bring it all the way here, that's fine. If you're up here, that's also okay. We're just coming down, and then we use those elbows to push out our knees, opening up our hips. And then we're gonna go ahead, bring our hands down, extend the legs back up, and roll it on up. We're gonna repeat that a couple more times. Let's bring it back down to the floor. We hold it, legs straight, and then we bend the legs, nice deep squat. Bring the hands up, use those elbows, push those knees out. 3, 2, 1. We have one more, hands down, extend the legs, slowly roll it up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Nice deep breath, and then we bring it back down. Forward fold, legs nice and straight, stretching out those hamstrings. And then we bring it down, nice deep squat, hands up. We push those knees out. And then from here, we are going to drop our right knee down to the ground, turning it in. And then we are going to extend up, tucking our hips under, Feel that stretch slightly through that right quad. And then let's go ahead, sit it back on our heels, pick that right knee back up, switching sides. We gently drop that left knee to the ground, then we extend straight up. Once again, hopefully feeling a little bit of that stretch through that quad. And then we're back down on our heels. We pick the left knee up, and then hands down, let's extend it up. And once again, slowly roll it on up. Now we're going to come to the edge of our mat or the edge of our space, our mountain pose. We take a nice big inhale. We sweep our arms up, and then we exhale, forward fold, legs straight one last time. And from here, we are going to step our right foot back and then our left, coming into our high plank. This is where we get into our core now, keeping that back nice and straight, pulling that belly button into the spine, shoulders over those hands. We are going to come into a downward dog. So you push the hips and shoulders back, stretching that out. And then we come back to our high plank. We do a shoulder tap on each side. So you bring that hand to that opposite shoulder, push it back into that downward dog, and then back to that shoulder tap. So we have 40 seconds here. We are now getting into our 15 minutes of core. Slowly moving through this. Always, again, keeping that pelvic tilt nice, straight back. Just sticking with downward dog. Move to that high plank, and then one hand up to that opposite shoulder into our shoulder taps. We have 10 more seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it onto our backs in 3, 2, 1. Let's flip it over. We come onto our backs. Legs bent, feet in the air. We are going to swing our hands around to our heel tap. Drop it down, extend the legs up, and then reach up for our toe tap. Let's go ahead and begin in 3, 2, 1. Sweep it around, tap the heels, lay it down, extend the legs up, reach for the toes. Bend the legs back, tap the heels, legs up, you tap the toes, or as close as you can reach, making sure your shoulder blades can come off the ground, really engaging that core. Try not to bring your knees too close to you, and just engage the core. We have 7 seconds. 2, 1, go ahead and relax. Now, we're going to extend the legs out. We have our reverse crunch, tucking both knees in, slight lift of the hips, and then we extend those legs out. And then we just repeat that. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Tuck those knees in. Give that slight tilt or slight lift of the hip. And then when you drop back down, make sure, again, you pull that belly button in. Keep that lower back flat the entire time as you extend the legs out. Do not let that back arch whatsoever. And again, the lower you extend the legs out, the more challenging it will be. So if you feel your back beginning to arch, just extend the legs up a little bit higher. We have 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead and relax. We are coming into a hollow hold. So we're going to keep our legs, feet in. We're going to lift our head and shoulders off the ground, and then we're going to alternate, extending those legs out, engaging our entire core. Let's lift our shoulders up, and then slowly begin to alternate those legs out. Keeping your head and your shoulders high. It's what's going to make sure that you keep that lower back nice and flat to engage your core. Up at the sky. Hands in the air. We have 10 more seconds, and then we get to sit it up into our V-sit position. We have 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, sit it on up. We now have our Russian twist punches. So 2 options, heel down, toe up. And from here, you're just crossing that punch over your body. Or if you want a challenge, feet up. And same thing, we're gonna go ahead, start punching in 2, 1. Let's punch, bringing it across, nice and slow. I want you to feel that core working as you have that slight twist. Again, modified, heels down, toes up, or if you want to give yourself a little bit more of that balance and core challenge, you lift the heels off the ground, let it hover. After we are done with this set, we're going to repeat these 4 moves, starting from the heel taps 2 more times. We have 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, lay it back down. Now that you guys know the moves, we'll get through this. We have 2 rounds of all 4 of these exercises, starting with our heel taps. Extend the legs up to those toe taps. We are going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing those arms around, tap the heels. Extend it on up, tap. Again, do not try to move those knees closer to you. That's how you cheat through this exercise. We really want you to be able to lift those shoulder blades off of the ground. We have 10 seconds, and then we get a little 20-second break. 3, 2, 1. Grab some water if you need it, and then we are extending our legs out. We have our reverse crunch to the leg extension. We're going to go ahead and start in 10 seconds. Hands can either be under the hips or extended over your chest. We start in 3, 2, 1. Tuck both those knees in. Slowly and in control, extend the legs out, making sure that lower back stays flat the entire time. So once your hips come back down to the ground, reset, pull the belly button in towards that spine, and then extend the legs out. And then again, picking whatever height for your legs. The closer to the floor, the harder it will be on your core. We have 7 seconds. And then our hollow hold leg extensions. Go ahead and relax. We bring our arms overhead. We hold our hands together. We pick the feet up. We're going to lift our heads up and our shoulders up the entire time as we alternate those leg extensions in 4, 3, 2, 1. Head and shoulders up. Alternate, extending out the legs. Again, pick whatever height for those legs works best for you, whether it's right before you touch the ground or if you're high up into the air. This is your workout. You want it to be challenging but not too difficult where you're in pain. You also don't want it to be too easy. You want to be able to push yourself. We got 10 seconds and then we get to sit it on up. 3, 2, 1. We sit it up. Our Russian twist with our punches. Heels down, toes up, or we hover it off, your choice. Fists up in the air. We are starting in 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross those punches. Engage that core, and if you need to challenge yourself, you just pick the feet a couple inches off the ground. Should be working nice and slow with those punches. Don't want to work, if you work fast, that's fine, but the slower you move with those punches, the harder it will be on your core to stabilize, stay upright, squeeze those shoulder blades back. We have 10 seconds, and then we're on to our last round of these. 3, 2, 1. Let's bring it back down onto the floor. Our heel taps to our toe taps. Last round, once we are done with this, we're gonna move into the last 2 exercises we have, and then we come into our stretching. Let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We tap those heels, shoulders come up. Raise those legs up. And again, as you reach each time, those shoulder blades should be coming off of the ground. You should really feel your upper core working with this movement. We're halfway through this set. We have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We extend the legs out. Hands can either come under the hips, or if you want more of a challenge, you can raise them up over your chest, but only do that if your back does not arch whatsoever. We're gonna tuck both of our hips in 3, 2, 1. Tuck it in, slight lift, extend it out, making sure soft drop of the hips. Don't want to hurt yourself. And once they're dropped, resetting that tilt so that your belly button comes into the spine. No arched backs. We have 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We get to relax. Arms come over our heads. We hold our fingers together. We pick up. We're going to lift our head and our shoulders off the ground, and then we alternate those legs. Let's up in 5, 4, 2, 1. We are up, head and shoulders off the ground, keeping that lower back nice and flat. We extend the legs out. "20 seconds, keep it going, you got this." Keeping that head off the ground, arms up in the air. We have just over 10 seconds, and then we get to sit it on up in 7 seconds. Keep extending those legs out. We have 3, 2, 1. We sit it on up. V-sit position. Heels down, toes up, or you hover the feet off, your choice. We bring our fists up. Again, moving nice and slow, in control. The slower you move, the harder it will be. We start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow cross punches, cross the body. And then if you want to kick it up a notch, you just pick up the heels off the ground, squeeze those shoulder blades back, keep that back nice and straight. We have 15 seconds, and then we turn it back over, and we're going to do those down dogs to the shoulder taps again. We have 7 seconds before we turn it over. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, relax. We have 20 seconds, so if you want to grab some water, this is your chance. And then we move it back into our high plank. We make sure the shoulder right over the hands. Then from there, we just step the feet back. We're going to push our shoulders and hips back in 3, 2, 1. Push it back, downward dog. Bring it back to that high plank once the shoulders are over the hand. 1 shoulder tap on each side. Hand comes opposite shoulder. Making sure your butt is down, nice straight back. Only time the butt should be in the air is when you are in that downward dog. In that high plank, you should have that nice straight line. We have 10 seconds, And then we're gonna hold that plank. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We hold this plank. Stay nice and strong, just for 40 seconds, that's it. Making sure that butt doesn't stay in the air, keeping the shoulders right over those hands. Push yourself forward. If you've pushed the shoulders back, we are already halfway there. Keep it up. If you need to, of course, you can modify it down onto your knees, but try to hold that plank. We just have 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We get to relax and we drop our knees down to the ground into our Cobra, so our arms stay extended, and then we just drop the knees down. Hips should be slightly off the floor. As you push through our hands, we take a nice big inhale with a slight tilt of that chin, feeling that core stretch after all that work we just did. And then from here, let's go ahead, exhale it back up into our high plank. As we come, we're going to step our right foot to the outside of that right hand, coming into a hip flexor, feeling it in that left hip flexor. If you need to, you can always drop that left knee down to modify it, or you can keep that left knee up into that runner's lunge. From here, we're going to come into a twist. Left hand stays down, right hand comes up, just kind of like how we did in that warm up. And again, you can still do this if you've dropped that left knee to the ground. Either one is fine. Looking up at that top hand. From here, we're going to take that right hand, bring it behind us. So it should come behind you, pointing away towards your feet. And then from here, we're going to use our core to pick that left hand up off the ground. We are in a twist. So we should be twisted into our lunge, whether you are up or you are down, either is fine. If you are up, go ahead and drop that left knee to the ground and uncurl the toes. From here, we're going to take our left hand, bring that elbow to the outside of that right knee. Our right hand, we make a fist, and we put it into our left hand. We hold it there as we drive that left elbow into that right knee to give us a nice big twist. And here, making sure you use your core to balance you out. We are holding it for 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead, cartwheel our hands back down to the ground. We curl the left toes. We pick up that left knee. And we're going to go ahead, bring that right leg back into the air, into a 3-legged dog. From here, we're going to come into a half pigeon. So bend of that left knee, we drive that right leg forward, and we cross it in front of us so that right leg is in a 90-degree angle, and then our back leg is nice and extended. Stretching out our right piriformis here. Couple of options. You can keep your palms on the ground, or if you're a little more flexible, you want a deeper stretch, you bring it down to your forearms, even deeper, forehead to the floor. You're just going to hold it here for a couple more breaths. You should be feeling this outside of that right hip. One more nice deep breath in. And then let's go ahead, exhale our hands back to the ground. We press up, arms extended. From here, we're going to curl the left toes, pick up that left knee, and drive that right foot back into our downward dog. From here, we are switching sides, keeping with that same flow though. So we step that left foot forward. Outside of that left hand, we come to that runner's lunge with the option to drop the right knee down and untuck the toes into that low lunge. We come into our twist now. So right hand down, left hand comes up. Try to have the shoulders stacked, but again, based on whatever your mobility is. And then again, trying to look up at that left hand. One more breath in. And then let's go ahead, exhale that left hand behind us. And then again, we use our core to try to pick that right hand up as we twist. And then from here, we're gonna slowly drop that right knee to the ground, untuck the toes. We take our right elbow outside of that left knee, our left hand, we make a fist, and we place it into the palm of our right hand. We drive that right elbow into that left knee to give us a nice twist, and then we use our core to keep us balanced. Holding it here, 2 more breaths. 1 more. And then let's go ahead, exhale, cartwheel our hands down. From here, we curl the right toes. We pick up that right knee and we drive it back into our 3-legged dog. And then from here, we come into our half pigeon. So slight bend of that right knee. We bring that left foot forward, bend it into that 90 degrees. And then again, your 3 options, palms down, forearms, or even deeper, forehead all the way to the floor. Now feeling this stretch outside of that left thigh, your piriformis. 2 more breaths. Last one, nice and slow in. And then as we exhale, we press up onto our palms. And from here, we're just gonna roll onto our bottom to come into our seated position. We bring the bottom of our feet together into our butterfly, pulling your heel as close to your groin as you can, and making sure you keep that nice straight back. So I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see how straight. I don't wanna see any hunchback. Squeeze those shoulder blades back, nice and straight. And then if it feels good from here, as you keep that back straight, you just lean forward. Stretch out the groin a little more. You can even, or make sure you keep those elbows nice and close to your side. And if you want to, just push those knees down just a little bit more. We're stretching out both of those inner thighs. We are holding it for 3, 2, 1. We can relax the legs and come into our normal seated position, crisscross applesauce. And from here, we're going to take a nice big inhale, sweeping our arms up. We exhale and we bend that right arm behind the back. We take our left hand, grab that right elbow, and we pull it towards us to stretch out our right triceps. And then from here, let's inhale, both the arms back overhead, spine nice and long. We exhale the left arm down now, and we lean to the left with the option to drop that left elbow to the ground. If you want a deeper stretch, just make sure that right hip stays planted onto the floor. Feeling the stretch down the right side of your body. We have 3, 2, 1. We inhale, both arms back up. This time we exhale that left arm behind our back. Right hand grabs that left elbow, tricep stretch. Feel this in the back of that arm. Spine is still nice and long. 1 more breath. And then let's go ahead, inhale, both the arms up, tall spine. We exhale that right arm down and we lean it to the right. And again, deeper stretch. You can drop that right elbow to the floor. Just make sure that left hip stays nice and flat. Let's go ahead, inhale it back up. And then we're going to slowly exhale our arms back down. We're going to end with 2 nice deep breaths. Again, we inhale our arms up, nice tall spine. And we exhale our arms down, relaxing the shoulders and all of our muscles. 1 last time. Nice big inhale up through the nose. And go ahead, exhale, back down, relax the shoulders. That is all I have for class today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Joy. Have a great day.